Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Pageant Sit Down. My name is Regina Elena, and I am your host. You probably heard a double audio because, of course, I had my audio on. But anyways, I hope you all had a very happy and healthy Easter long weekend. But we are here for another episode, and I am so excited to have my guest on today, all the way from Sudbury, Ontario. She is none other than Ms. Galaxy Sudbury 2020-21, Sarah Edmunds. Hi, Sarah.
Hi there.
Hi, welcome to the show. I know you've watched a lot of episodes, so I'm really excited to have you on here today. For those who don't know you, Sarah, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Sarah Edmunds. I'm Ms. Galaxy Sudbury 2020-21, and I'm a single mom to an 8-year little boy. He's the love of my life. His name is Grayson, and I am a piano teacher. I teach within the schools. So I have 2 different school boards I work for, but I'm lucky enough to be doing my dream job, which is teaching piano lessons. And I've taken that and my love of music, and I've decided to write a children's book, which is hopefully going to be coming out this summer. And I'm passionate about giving back into my community, people helping people. So if I'm not personally able to help someone, I am passionate about allowing the opportunity for someone else to step in and filling that need.
Wow, that's awesome. First off, I did not know you were writing a book. How do you find time to teach piano, be a mom, prepare for a pageant, and have the time to write your book?
So the book is something I started last year, and luckily through the editing process, it has taken a little bit longer, but with COVID, it kind of had to take a step back and reevaluate. But luckily that is back on the table, and with obviously the COVID-19 restrictions, I am teaching from home when we are able to, and with the gray zone, obviously we are not having lessons right now, but when they are able to come into my home, I'm having them at home at night, so it's easy to allow during the daytime to spend time with Grayson for distance learning and working on my book, baking, teaching, keeping myself busy.
Awesome. Well, actually, you mentioned baking, and baking seems to have been what made you one of the top queens, basically, of Canada Galaxy. I am aware that you've raised a lot of money so far for Give Kids the World. Can you tell us a little bit about how that happened?
So when I was told that we had to do some kind of fundraising, I knew that, with COVID-19, that restrictions would be very tight. And luckily, I'm gifted with the ability to make really beautiful cakes. And so I use that, and instead of taking the money and profiting it, I'm using the money and giving it back to my community or to my charity of choice, which is Give the Kids the World. And I think that organization just speaks to me a lot because I was involved with Camp Quality, and Camp Quality is for kids that have or had cancer. And I volunteered there for years, and I could see what it does for the kids. It's a week camp that the kids come and one-on-one experience, and with Give the Kids the World, it's for the whole family. And I thought, this is a great experience for the family to go out there and experience this and go to Disney or Universal, whatever they decide to choose their activities. And with me being able to bake, any proceeds I get from that, I'm able to give back. So between me sewing, so I did masks when COVID first came out. I have many friends that are doctors and physicians. So when they started asking for fabric masks for them to be able to give out to their patients or other friends and family, I started sewing. I know I made some Harry Potter ones that were posted on social media, and I tried my best back with whatever ways I could.
That's amazing. So, okay, first off, you're a baker, which I had no idea about, but cakes seem to be a lot harder than, baking and cupcakes. Always been a baker?
Since I was little. So when I was younger, I would be babysat by my older brother, who would always be like, "Oh, are you hungry? That's great. Go make it." So I learned how to make these things. And so I kind of would mix up together, try different recipes, and started off with food and then started with baking. And then, of course, when I had my own son, it was like a light bulb clicked, and I went, okay, what kind of cake can I make for his birthday this year? Can I outdo the last one?
One of those moms. Would you ever do nailed it?
Oh, I love that. I feel like I would do terribly because of the fact that the pressure of what they do is not necessarily what normal baking would be, right? Where I bake a cake, crumb coat it, and decorate it, depending on if it's fondant or icing or what has to be done to it. For instance, right now I have a cake in the fridge. It's going to be a Moana cake. I know. As soon as I was doing this, I went, oh my goodness, Regine would love this.
Oh my gosh, started. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, my aunt made me a pina colada flavored Moana cake, and it was one of my favorite cakes till this day. So I want to see a picture of the cake when it's done, please.
So that's my goal for the next couple of days. I finished baking it and crumb coating it, and then it's going to be picked up tomorrow afternoon. So tomorrow during the day, I'm going to be doing the ocean waves and the swirls and the necklace. And
oh my god, that's exciting. I want to see it. Please send it to me so I could see it when it's done. We actually have a few viewers on here today. Janice McGregor, who's actually our guest on Wednesday, she says, I love these interviews with Galaxy Girls. I love that you appreciate the fine arts, Sarah. And she also says you have innovative ideas that you use to benefit your community. Would you consider running for office?
Politically, no, unfortunately, that's not my cup of tea. But I do love being involved with my community. So volunteering is totally my thing. I love being involved with different organizations. So I found trying to find my niche, I just found that I was involved with so many different groups for different reasons. Mm-hmm. And that's how I created the idea of people helping people, because I know that I'm passionate about helping others. And over the years, I've made so many connections with people, and especially with the pageant industry. Like, I have tons of friends that love volunteering. Mm-hmm. And there's young girls that I know need the opportunity for either high school or from pageantry. And I'm able to connect them with organizations that I know can benefit from their help.
Amazing. So you talked a little bit about pageantry, and I know Galaxy is not your first pageant. So can you tell us a little bit about your pageant journey?
So oddly enough, I started when I was in probably high school. Mm-hmm. And I remember going to see the Cape pageant, which was held by Cheryl Gazera, and she actually has Miss North and the Sudbury pageant. So I've known Cheryl for quite some time, mm-hmm. but at that point, I was just going to watch them because my friends were in them and I wasn't interested in at that point. I was just always there to support my friends. And then I was asked by one of the judges, like, why aren't you entering? And then I was like, well, I never thought of it. And so that's when I started to enter them. I was in the Sudbury Youth pageant for a few years, and I went into the Miss North pageant, which was held by Cheryl. Mm-hmm. The Sudbury pageant at the time was held by Benita DeLise, and now it's Cheryl that runs it. So I was involved with those two pageants. I've done Miss Earth Ontario, which was in Toronto. I've done a couple other pageants online, but they aren't the same. It wasn't the same experience for me. Mm-hmm. I'm passionate about that on stage, the butterflies in your stomach. That experience is totally out of this world. Like, you have to be on stage, get the goosebumps, the feels, know that this is what you want.
Mm-hmm. 100%. So what made you decide to make a comeback in the pageant world and join Galaxy Canada?
So like I said, I'm a single mom. So many of the pageants and organizations, unfortunately, if you have a child, they won't accept you. And when I found the Galaxy organization, I actually saw Chloe enter it. So Chloe and I, she's the Miss Teen Galaxy Canada. So I had the opportunity to meet her at one of the Sudbury pageants. And I made a connection with her and told her, if she wanted to continue with going into Miss North, that I would sponsor her, because obviously with my business, I'm self-employed. I have my piano business, but it was a great opportunity for me to give back to her because I saw that spark in her. She loved it. She did great on stage. She was sad that she didn't make it to the title, right? So I said, you've got this. I know that you have the driving. She just had something about her that I knew that she would do well. So I told her I would support her if she wanted to continue her journey in Miss North, and I did. And then we became friends. And when she won Miss Teen, I said, I think I'm going to try for the Ms. category, because still allows me to be a mom, which is who I am. I am a single mom, yes. But I'm also still involved with my community. I also allow my son to be involved with those organizations as well. So when I do something, I make sure that if it's something that I can do on my own, that's great. But if it's something I can have him come and help me out, I'm definitely going to have him come and show the support in the organization. I want him to be passionate about it as well. Mm-hmm. So I bring him out and he does the same thing. Like, we were delivering Easter treats just the other day. So
that's amazing. You mentioned your son, Grayson. How supportive is he when it comes to you competing in pageants and you doing all of your...
So depends on the one that I go to, right? So when I'm gone, sometimes he's sad, but to bring him, he really loves the idea of being there and helping out. So I remember one we did was a family day. So I wanted to obviously spend the day with him. It was a family day event. And oddly enough, there was a magician there. And I can recall Grayson is passionate about magic. And right away, I think of Denise.
Yes.
And her God. And I said, what are the odds of him being so passionate about it? So luckily, the magician, it was a friend of mine, and he took him under his wing and showed him tricks. And then Grayson was showing tricks to other people throughout the event. So despite him not wanting to sit there and be an information giver, which was what I was doing, an information greeter, he got to experience a different end of that and go around and do magic tricks.
That's amazing. Maybe you should introduce him to Scott and be like, hey. But that makes so much sense to why he's such a fan of Harry Potter, because he loves magic.
I love Harry Potter, and so does my son. It's throughout the summer, I was able to also, I had a couple friends who they're physicians or in the medical field, so I had their children here. So I had them come here for babysitting, and every day was a different theme. We do a worksheet, which was in French. We would do quelle est la date, quelle est aujourd'hui, quel temps fait-il, like all the stuff like that we would normally do in school. Mm-hmm. And then we would do coloring pages and word searches, word scrambles, all those kind of like fun activities.
Yeah.
And craft, and we'd have them for lunch, dinner, whatever. But we'd have a movie, and I remember doing it multiple times, and I said, Harry Potter, has 8 movies. We can get away with it. I will plan out 2 days. We can have it a different theme. Like,
yeah.
I made costumes. Everyone got a cloak, and we did a sorting out ceremony. Like,
wow, you went all out.
Chocolate frogs, everything.
That's amazing. Would you ever open your own daycare? Because you seem to have the creativity and the patience and the love for working with children.
I do love working with children, but I'm also passionate about the arts, right? So I'm able to still teach. It's my dream job. Since I was in grade 5, I remember seeing Kevin Soroka play Phantom of the Opera, and I went, I want to do that. I want to be able to play the piano just like him. And we went to go see Phantom of the Opera in Toronto, and the goosebumps of the chandelier falling onto the stage, all those moments of like just thrill. And I said, I'm going to learn those songs. So I bought the book, not knowing how to play the piano yet. I had not taken a lesson, thinking, I'm going to learn these songs. And it's still one of my favorites. I play Think of Me all the time, Phantom of the Opera, Angel of Music, like all those different songs are just Andrew Lloyd Webber, goosebumps almost every time.
It's amazing. It shows your passion in anything that you put yourself into, and it goes hand in hand with pageantry and community work. And Elizabeth Mark is actually in the chats, and she says, you are killing it with fundraising. So proud. So what is it about fundraising and community service that really gets you going?
So reaching out to other organizations. I've been a big sister for a really long time. I've been matched twice, one aged out, unfortunately, and now she's a mom of 2. To think that makes me feel a little weird, but I mean, that's crazy to think that I've been matched twice over. But when I get involved with different organizations, I'm passionate about it. I want to make sure that if I introduce someone else into the organization, that they're as passionate as I am with it, and that they're wanting to continue. So it's not just here's someone for like an hour. I want them to, as an opportunity to make connections, network, and be involved with them. So I've done different organizations, different charity organization groups, And sometimes it's work related that I've been able to make these connections, and sometimes it's through church. You're at my church in the nursery, and so I know we were talking about different volunteer organizations and opportunities, but one of my favorite times was when I had a movie night. So our church does the drive-in movie nights, and I invited some of the girls to say something, and then I had this pre-show that showed us all talking about what our favorite genre of music was, favorite song, that kind of stuff. And then I had some of the girls volunteer at the concession stand. And I, in the summer heat, decided it was a brilliant idea to be Poppy. So I was walking around with this huge mascot costume, couldn't see a thing. I had my son, he was dressed up as Branch, because, you know, heaven forbid. I
love that.
Every movie we had throughout the summer, every Friday night, like Mr. Rogers, he was Mr. Rogers. When it was Frozen, I was Anna's Olaf. Like
no way.
And so this one, I have him as Branch and me as Poppy in this giant costume. And I'm walking around, and I told the girls afterwards, I'm like, oh, my cheeks hurt. And they said, Sarah, why were you smiling? No one could see your face.
I was like, just gonna ask you that.
Like, just, you know, that twinging feeling of like permo smile, like shaking. And I said, oh my goodness, I didn't even consider the fact that, and I was posing, no one could see that I was trying to, like, the costumes just, but I was trying to strike a T pose, like, and try to, like, be on.
I love that.
No one could see me. I was
you know what? I'm sure they could feel the energy that you were giving off as Poppy. And, you know, Poppy is amazing. She's a very bubbly and bright character. I think you matched her 100%. So it's okay that your cheeks hurt. It's fine. But no, it was such a great event to see pictures of, and I wish I could have been there. I know I was there virtually somehow, but it just seems like you seem so creative when it comes to your fundraising. How has it shifted now that we're here in this lockdown pandemic?
So luckily, I still have people interested in cakes, so I'm able to do the odd cake. Sewing, I haven't done as many because many people have been ordering online and whatnot, so I'm kind of slowing down when it comes to sewing aspect. I do have a Cricut machine, so I have been doing stuff like that, with t-shirts and wall decals. I'm making some wall decals and just cute little gifts like that. I enjoy making those things. I kind of like the idea of having a creative outlet. So when people are like, can you do this? I'm like, I may not know how to, but I will. I'm going to try and learn this, and I will figure this out. Or, of course I can, and I will gladly help.
That's amazing. So Sarah, what would you say, I guess, so far has been your favorite fundraiser that you've done with yourself or with Grayson or with your sisters there in Sudbury?
So we've done some charity work for Chloe. I enjoyed doing that because I had to have Grayson came with me that night, so I enjoyed that one. I love doing the drive-in movie nights. So they are actually, any money that proceeds we received from the concession stand went towards renovating our roof. So we, as a church community, our church is a former school, so there's renovations that need to be made, and there's there's classrooms and stuff that have different organizations, or there's a photographer, dance studio, different places that are rented out, right? So those places obviously have priority and get renovations done before us. So by us having this fundraiser of any proceeds that we make throughout the concession stand, we were able to put it towards fixing any of the leaks that were happening on our roof.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Well, hopefully, summer is coming, and hopefully the pandemic will slowly go away so that you guys can start doing that again, because it looks like a lot of fun. I absolutely love going to drive-in theaters, so I do hope that things open up again just for that reason. Carshell is actually in the chat. She says, such amazing woman. Hi, girl. So for all those who are watching, if you have any questions for Sarah, make sure you leave them in the live chats, and I will make sure to ask her. As you know, I also do these questions on Instagram. I didn't get any questions, but I did get no question, just wanted to say something for you. So Jenna Marie, she says, no question, just wanted to say she is one of the most supportive Galaxy girls. She is always helping out all the other girls with their philanthropy initiatives. So looks like you have been creating amazing bonds with all of the girls that are competing this year. How has it been? You know, you signed up in 2019. You're now here for 2 years. How has it been creating friendships with all these girls virtually?
I would definitely love to see these women in person. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19 restrictions, haven't been able to. So that's why I have been supporting them virtually via sending them whatever necessary needs for their fundraising goals, whether it be a cash donation or a gift for, we had one time during the Christmas season, we did adopt a family. So a group of girls, we all got together and we were able to help a family in need. And I honestly, thank God for Amazon. I don't know if we would have been able to manage all of the gifts at once. Mm-hmm. I'm sure we would have e-transferred all the money over to someone and they would have been able to do the shopping. But I think being able to give back, even if it's not just in my community, reach their goals, it's motivating other women and encouraging them to reach their goals, right? I want them to feel empowered and not to feel like down about themselves if they don't feel like their organization or their thing is going well. I want to be able to say, hey, I'm right here next to you. I can help you. If you need a hand, I'm here.
That's amazing. So you are truly an all-star when it comes to being a very supportive pageant sister. We're actually at the halfway point. So Sarah, I do have a segment on the show which is 5 tips from a beauty queen, and I know you can give us all these tips when it comes to fundraising and your pageant experience. So I do want to know, what are your 5 tips for all of our pageant hopefuls who are watching today?
Mine are stay organized. I always make sure that I have everything organized and properly labeled and know where my things are. Keep food, because sometimes you're hungry and sometimes you don't know when your next meal will be happening. So have snacks on hand that you know you can eat, because I have an allergy, which is not fun. I'm allergic to peppers. And so sometimes I can't eat some of the food and it's not fun. So I always make sure I have snacks on hand. Spare heels. Make sure you practice. And I would say go over some questions on your own or with a friend, because I have found having that verbal communication, kind of getting yourself back into the groove of what an interview is like. I haven't had to have an interview in close to 10 years. Basically, since before Grayson, right? That was the last time I was in pageants. And I've been running my business since 2006. So I haven't had to do a job interview in a long time.
Wow. So those are amazing tips. And Sarah, if anyone wanted to find out more about what you're doing and follow your journey to Canada Galaxy, where can they find you?
Definitely on Facebook. Follow my journey there. I'm Sarah Edmunds, and I've been posting any posts that I'm able to, and I'm on Instagram as well, and it's the same, Sarah Edmunds. I'm passionate about what I'm doing, and I'm hoping that everyone else feels the same way, and hoping that I can help others reach their goals.
And you are very inspiring to all of us. And if someone wanted to know or wanted to learn piano, do you do other cities, or are you staying more within Sudbury?
In Sudbury. So I had a lot of friends ask me to do the virtual. I haven't gotten there yet. I'm passionate about the arts and that hands-on learning experience of being able to see my student. I mean, there's so many different programs that you can download nowadays and learn whatever language, instrument. So it's very difficult for me to see the non-hands-on, the digital copy of it. I'm not there yet.
No, that's 100% fair. Actually, I do have a few questions for you coming through the chats. Thanks, Karshal. She asks earlier about practicing interview questions. She says, do you have any tips for when you get nervous during an interview?
Me, I try to take a deep breath. I know that I've been lucky in my pageant experience. Many of the times that I've had interviews, my pageant experience, I've had Joan Hart. I don't know if many people have heard of Joan Hart, obviously, but I've been blessed to have her in my life. And she honestly is that person for me that if I'm in a pageant interview room and she's in the panel, I look at her and take a deep breath, and I know I'm good. Because she just makes me feel calm, and like I'm so blessed to have her in my life. She's an amazing woman.
She is. I had the opportunity to meet her twice at both at Miss Earth Ontario. Actually, Miss Earth Ontario, Miss Earth Canada, and with Miss Universe Canada. And Chloe mentioned her as well. She is honestly such a sweet lady that she just makes you smile. So I totally understand what you mean by she calms you down. But it's great that you said, take a deep breath, because sometimes we forget to breathe, and just find one of the judges that you can just make eye contact with, and it's not creepy eye contact.
I actually had Joan at my baby shower when I had Grayson.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was able to share that up with her, so it was nice.
That's amazing. Every time around like the Miss Universe Canada era, if I got a call from Sudbury, I knew it was Joan, and I'd answer it right away. If it was anyone else, I would not answer my phone, because who answers an unknown number nowadays?
I actually had an opportunity before COVID, like when we first started our journey, my journey with the Galaxy organization, but obviously Chloe had already won. We sat and we were able to watch the Miss Universe pageant together, and then obviously everything got hectic with COVID, so I haven't seen her as frequently as I wish I could. But I do like going over and checking in on her once in a while. That's always a given. Once a month at least, check in. And I was able to water her flowers the other day when it was nice out.
Aww.
And for her, she opened her door. She goes, "Sarah, those ones aren't real. You don't have to water them."
Oh my God.
Front lawn, like thinking I'm doing good, and then she opened her door. She's like, "Those ones aren't real, Sarah. You don't have to do them." I'm like, sorry.
Oh my God. The fact that she has fake flowers in her lawn, that's amazing.
They're beautiful.
Okay.
I kept thinking they were part of decor, right? Like part of the beautiful flowers in her garden.
I love that. There's always a secret in everyone's garden. especially Joan Hart's. Good to know. Another question that we have from Carshell is, what is your favorite fundraising technique?
My baking. I love baking. I was just speaking to someone. I have the Moana cake coming up, and I was talking to her, and I said, the best part about this is now my family gets to eat the cake toppers. So I was already munching on the tops. So like when I level off the cakes, they're able to have their own cake now, because I level off all the cakes so it's even. So when I do the tiers, it's not all wonky. And my mom's like, "Are these okay for us to eat?" I'm like, "Yeah." My parents love that aspect of it. And I like the fact that I'm able to be creative and designing different cakes. And sometimes, they send me pictures of Pinterest ideas that they've seen, or I try to alter it. Next weekend, I have a wrestling themed cake. So that one's going to be a big one.
Wow.
So yeah, I use my God-given gifts, and they're my passion. So I'm able to use them, luckily, to be fundraising goals and help me support others.
That's amazing. So when you first started with Galaxy Canada and you heard about Give Kids the World, did you ever set a goal for yourself on, this is how much I want to raise? And if you did, with your cake fundraising, how long did it take you to reach that goal? Because I'm aware that the number is really high.
So over the summer, I went over the 2,000 mark, and I don't recall, I wanted to say it was close to $1,000 that my goal was originally, and then it went to 2,000, and now I'm like, any cakes that I'm able to make, the proceeds are immediately going towards that. I'm not doing many sewing projects right now, but when I do, the money's going towards that. These are things that I'm passionate about, I love doing, so I don't need the profits from it. So I'm going to give them to people that do need it, and this organization, especially with everything going on, they deserve to have something given back to them.
That's amazing. So if people wanted to order a cake from you or any baked goods from you, is the best way to reach you social media on Facebook?
Yes.
Awesome. And do you just do cakes, or do you do other baked goods as well?
I love making cookies. I love making cookies. Grayson, actually, his favorite, he hates chocolate, which is weird. It's vanilla everything, but he likes chocolate chip cookies. And the other mom purchased chocolate chip cookies from the grocery store and was like, "Oh, Grayson's gonna eat these up. He's gonna love them." And he goes, "Did mommy make them? Then I don't want them." And I was like, "Dude, Nana went out of her way to think of you and get you chocolate chip cookies. You're gonna eat these cookies." Like, me supporting my kid eating sweets. Like, I'm saying, please, like, don't do that. Don't be rude. I will make you cookies another time. I can make them whenever you'd like. I love the fact that you guys like my cookies.
That's amazing. That's hilarious, actually. I did want to ask you more about Grayson. So I know that you've done a lot of charity work and you've involved him in it. If he decides one day, Mom, I want to do a pageant too. Because I know, we always think of little girls doing pageantry, and there are different organizations out there that do have male pageants. Would you encourage him to do that?
Yes, and when he was a baby, he did.
Oh.
So all Canadian pageants, I believe, they're in Barrie. We did it when he was just able to walk, not even. I was still holding onto his hand. And I can recall it was like the spring themed one. And there's a spring and then like some kind of sports. So he had this cute little duckling costume on, and of course I had to match him, so I wore a duckling costume, and I was like walking down the stage, like the runway. And the same with the hockey, like he had a little hockey stick and a jersey, and then for obviously the evening wear, he had this cute little sweater vest on and was super adorable. And yeah, those competitions are a lot stiffer than I thought, because especially with the young boys, a lot of the times they get lumped into the general with the women, like the little girls and stuff, because there's only a few boys that enter, or it's every age group, because there's only 3 or 4 boys that enter the whole pageant. They decide they'll take the little ones up to the teens all in the same group, and I'm going, that's a very hard difference in age group for you to have a representative. And I totally understand having someone that's able to speak, because at that point Grayson couldn't speak.
Yeah.
To be a representative, I totally understand why he would win over my son, who is waddling while I hold on to his hands. So he has been in one, and if he wanted to go in one again, I would totally support him. I mean, I want my son to feel like he could do anything he wants to right now. So if we go based on the, those apples or those back to school sign stuff.
Yeah.
How old you are, what grade you're going into. His first year, I believe what you want to be when you grow up was Darth Vader.
Love that.
Second year, I believe, was an astronaut. Then it was a scientist, and now it's a magician.
I mean, Darth Vader's kind of all of that, right? So you never know.
But that's where he went for JK. I was like, okay, buddy. I mean, I love Star Wars, so that's the theme to his room right now. It's a mixture of Super Mario and Star Wars right now, his bedroom.
Wow. When is Harry Potter going to make an appearance?
We haven't gotten there yet. He's watching the movies. We're getting back into it. Every year we go to the Cancer Society here in Sudbury has this Harry Potter event, and it is an all-out extravaganza. It's beautifully done. It's held within the Crusoe Club here, and it's a big fundraiser. So right now they can't have it because there were so many people that come into what they call the Great Hall. So they set up all the tables in the house, and then they have the teachers on stage, and they have actors, each of the teachers. It's beautifully done. And then we have our tickets to go and have a seat. And then if you're VIP, you get selected to go up and have a sorting hat ceremony.
Wow.
And you have, when you walk in, they let you go to the wand store, and you get your they'll pick out a random wand. I think I got Beatrix Lestrange. I got that one year. I got the Elder Wand one year, and oh my goodness, I know. I'm trying to think of her name right now. Draco's mom. I got hers one time, and I was not I didn't know who she was, and now I know her name. And it was because I said in the movies I don't recall her name being told, so I couldn't remember who she was. When I got the wand, I was like, I don't know who this belongs to, but okay. And it's a great social event. They have tables set up with different things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to buy anywhere else. So I like the idea of get an owl and an acceptance letter as part of your invitation to go into this extravagant that your imagination just goes wild, because there's so many amazing actors there that play different characters from the movies, and it makes it come alive for the children that are there and adults.
I feel like this is some too because we all know she's a huge Harry Potter fan. So I think you should invite her next time because I'm sure she'd love that.
I have tons of friends that like have stuff there, so it's a great event. She would love it.
100%.
I made an outfit that has the sorting map, like, or not the sorting map, the map, so the different prints and stuff. And then I have a giant ball skirt and high heels that I wore for this costume. And then Grayson dressed up as Harry Potter.
Love that. And
it was just super cute. And oddly enough, that night we saw his teacher. And so he got to see his teacher in a different light, right?
Oh.
Well, and teaching classes. And then he sees her at this event and she's dressed up. And he thought, wow, she's so cool.
She's
like, and
normal.
Like, I want you to see that, you know, teachers' lives aren't always in school. They have families at home. They have passions and different backgrounds, and you need to appreciate, like, some of these people are, yes, a lot of the time they spend at school teaching in class, but you get to know them on a different basis when you see them at an event like this. And I know that she was excited to see that Grayson was passionate about Harry Potter and dressed up as him. So
that's so sweet. I love that you're able to share your passions with him as well. So I did mention Cindy, which brings me back to Canada Galaxy Pageants. I mentioned earlier you signed up in 2019. We're now here in 2021. How has it been for you on this journey of preparing mentally, physically, emotionally? How's that going for you?
So physically, it's been a bit of a roller coaster with COVID. Unfortunately, the gym's closed again, so I'm trying to keep up with stuff at home, making sure I'm able to put my best foot forward. And emotionally, I mean, I know that I'm here for the right reasons and I'm passionate about this, this pageant. I told my mom, and I get the goosebumps when I think about it. Like, I think that I would be an amazing representative. I would love the opportunity to do so, and that's why I entered. I know that this is something I would do really well in, and I feel like this is something for me, right? So as soon as I heard that this organization, like the pageant, was having the Ms. category, and I know that Cindy and Chloe and Cheryl, everyone I know that's involved with pageantry, were like, this is something that I think you would do well and you should go into this pageant. So I said, okay. And keeping myself organized, I'm making sure I do at least one thing a month. I know that a lot of things are shut down, but I have a couple connections with a couple organizations that obviously all year round they need help. And I also have the Kicks 91.7. There's a radio station here, and Josh and Coop are honestly so passionate about giving back to the community. And he just did this past week he wanted to make sure that Pet Save was able to make enough money to have a new washer and dryer given to them because it was making some clunky noises, and just surpassed their goal of 2,000 and got over $7,000. So I mean, the stuff that Josh and Coop do for their community is outstanding, and I just love helping them out. Whenever they reach out to me and say, hey, we're doing this, can you come help us out? I'm like, I'm there. I'm like, whether I physically can be there, obviously with COVID, I stopped by when they were doing one fundraiser just to like drop off at the door and wave or like through the window with Coop. But yeah, anytime I can help out people, if they reach out to me, if it's something that I know that I can say yes to and help them, I try to. If I can't, I try to get someone that else I know can help them out with that.
That's amazing. And what are you looking most forward to now that you've been on this journey for 2 years?
Meeting the girls. I've gotten to know some of them over the couple of years now, a year and a half, and some of them I've made some really good connections with, and I really look forward to meeting them in person. It just seems weird being able to speak from a distance or having the video chat once in a while, and I'm looking forward to seeing people in person.
I totally understand. There are so many of you, especially now in the Ms. division. I taught it all the time. I am so happy I am not competing this year because there are so many amazing women, but I know that you're all going to do amazing, and whoever wins will do a great amount of work with their title because you're all showing us already what your local titles. I can only imagine a national crown on your head. So I'm excited for all of you. I'm excited to meet you in person finally and just to see who the next Ms. Galaxy Canada is going to be, because it's a beautiful crowd. I'm sure one of you want one as well. So
Opportunity. So I think entering is the first step, right? So hopefully this leads to a positive ending, and whether it's for myself or someone else, I genuinely feel like this is a great opportunity. Whether you win or lose, it's about your journey going through this. And I think being able to show Grayson what I've been doing the last year and a half and what I can be doing, I want him to see that. He asked me just the other day, so we have a place my parents have a place in Florida, and I was supposed to be going to Give the Kids the World, volunteering for a day, but because of COVID, it hit and we all kind of shut down in March. Parents came home and I went, oh, I can't fly down now. I have no place to stay, no one's there for me. And with COVID, everything was on lockdown, right? So I have the opportunities to do it. I will be hopefully doing it regardless of win or lose. I think it would be a great opportunity for me to go and see where the funds go, like how the organization is run, and kind of have a day of being involved there.
That's amazing. I would love to do that too. I've seen pictures and videos, and it just seems like such a great place to be. And like you mentioned, with everything going on with the pandemic, these kids need it more than anything. So if anyone is interested in donating to Give Kids the World, make sure you follow Sarah and go to her fundraising page, because it is going to an amazing cause as well. You mentioned Grayson, so I will ask you another question about him. Does he understand what you're doing right now when it comes to pageants? Like, does he understand the concept? I know he's done one. Does he understand where all of this hard work and where it's going toward?
I don't think he does quite yet. That's the joy of this, is he's seeing my journey, and I'm hoping that he sees the end result of me being on stage and being able to see, okay, this is what Mommy's been doing for the last year and a half, 2 years, and being involved with all these organizations. And yes, I've been involved with these organizations prior to this pageant, but now I'm able to show others that I'm passionate about these organizations and that get other people involved with them. And then by having Grayson come, he's going to be hopefully able to see me on stage and go, that's my mommy, and I've seen what I've done to get there, and be proud of me, because I want him to be proud of me. I want him to see it and be like, that's my mom.
I'm sure he will, and I'm sure he is very proud of you already for everything that you've done, and I'm sure he's jealous, because I'm sure he wants a cake as well. Or chocolate chip cookies, either one. You just celebrate with some chocolate chip cookies and give us some too when you're in Toronto.
Cake is going to be chocolate. That's the what he asked me to make was a chocolate chip cookie cake. Nice.
You should. That'll be a great cake for him, and I think a great celebratory cake after this entire journey that you've been on. Like I mentioned, I'm really excited to see where you go with this pageant journey, and I'm really excited to know that you've made a comeback. And it's great that you're able to use or find something like Galaxy Canada, where they embrace women of all walks of life, and having your son shows that, just because you're a single mom doesn't mean you stop pursuing your dreams, and you're doing exactly that, and it's amazing to watch.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So for all of those single moms out there who might be interested in competing in a pageant, but, again, they're a single mom, they've always been told that they can't do it, what are your words to them of encouragement, or just in general?
Follow your dreams and totally do it. I am blessed to have found the Galaxy organization and the pageant, and I feel like this is the pageant for me. I know that as a single mom, many times doors get slammed in our faces and we're told we can't. And this is an opportunity where you can, and you can be involved in your community. You can show your passion and your drive and be passionate about something again. And this is something I get to share with my son every day. So definitely, organization, join it. Galaxy pageant, totally.
That's amazing. And I think, there are so many single moms out there who, just wish that they can compete. So yes, make sure you follow Sarah's journey, see where she goes, and if you're interested, compete for Galaxy Canada or any other pageant out there, because the pageant world is changing. There's so much diversity when it comes to the different divisions. So don't be afraid. I honestly came out of pageantry retirement because of Cindy. So I'm glad, just like you, I was able to find another platform where I can continue my journey, because as pageant girls, once we started one, it's hard to get us out of the stage.
Well, and I know that despite me not being in them, I was still going to Miss North every year in the Sudbury pageant. I was able to still watch them and be on the sidelines and support other girls' journeys throughout it, especially with my small business, support them via donating, sponsoring, whatever it may be. But I wasn't able to be there on stage anymore. So that's the butterflies, that's what I wanted. And this is it for me. I'm super excited that I was able to find Canada Galaxy Pageant.
That's amazing. I'm really excited. Have you started looking at your outfits and what you're going to wear on stage yet?
So yes, I had the opportunity to go try on a couple dresses the other day with Montana, who is in the Miss category. And I'm definitely excited because I think I've just found the style that I'm interested in, and I'm going to support local, and I'm going to have a friend of mine who I actually started as my co-op placement when I was in high school. I started working at Stage and Street. It's a dance and theatrical store, and she's an amazing designer and seamstress, and I've known her for years. And Evelyn Davies, I'm looking forward to working with her in designing and making a dress.
That's amazing. Supporting locals right now is huge, especially with everything that's gone on with this pandemic. So I'm really excited to see what you end up wearing on stage, especially your evening gown. I am a huge fan of evening gown. I can't wait to see what you're wearing and just cheer you on backstage. Karshal actually has another question. She says, Sarah makes sashes, right?
I do. So right now I actually have about 12 or 15, no, I have 15 sashes for the Miss North pageant. So because Miss North got bumped, they would like to have the city that they're representing, so that when they do their fundraising events or appearances, they're able to have their sashes to just show where they're from. And so it's better for photo opportunities, right? So I've been making sashes. I started off with the Golden Heart pageant, which was through Montana and Megan, and once again using my Cricut. And I just love doing stuff like that, crafting. They send me a logo, I'm able to put it on through my machine and cut it out, and I've got the mini press and the big press, and I've been making t-shirts and making sashes, and you name it. I just, whatever I can make, I enjoy being crafty, right? So
that's amazing. I actually have a Cricut, and I got it for my birthday last year, and it's literally still sitting in the box, and I've had it now for almost a year. I do need to open it up and figure out how to use it. So once I do open it, I will call you and ask you for help, because I've seen your work and you do amazing stuff. Karshal actually did the Golden Heart pageant, so that's probably why she remembered your name and the sashes.
I also did the main title holder. So despite me just using the heat press, I was able to do the satin sashes, and then I had the individually rhinestone. I glued each individual rhinestone onto their sashes, so that if something were to happen and one were to fall off, God forbid, that luckily it's not like a row of all of them falling off. It was just one that they could replace.
That's crazy. That seems like a lot of work. She actually says, that's so cool. She also says, hopefully Galaxy. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
My hands were a little sticky and it smelled like glue in the house, but it was worth it. It looked great. And I do some theatrical stuff, right? So birthday outfits, for instance. I did a birthday tutu. I rhinestoned the edge of the tutus.
Love that.
For my each year, and then I personalized their onesies. So at that point I didn't have my Cricut, and I was using my embroidery machine. So I was embroidering these little onesies and making little outfits for them, because I have a boy and I don't get to do. I do make costumes for him though. Every year I make his Halloween costume.
That's amazing. I feel like, you're in this pageant world. There's so many women out there who are always looking for a national outfit. I feel like you can with the talent that you have.
It's funny you say that, because that's actually my second passion, was fashion arts. So when I went to high school, I studied piano. I went to a performing arts high school. That's what I studied. And I had all these bursaries given to me for post-secondary education, but it was for Sudbury. And unfortunately, Sudbury doesn't have anything for fashion design. So I applied for Southern Ontario, George Brown, Sheridan, like all these places, and I got accepted in the fashion design programs. But because of the fact that all my post-secondary education would have been paid for if I stayed here, at that point, it didn't make sense for me to move away and lose an opportunity. So I was able to stay here. I had my first 2 years of education paid for, and at that point, I still had a job. So I was able to pay for my last year myself. So that's how I got my, and I've been teaching piano ever since. Now I still have a love of designing and doing stuff like that. I make my own patterns and make my own outfits once in a while, but I mean, I'm only doing a few things here and there, and I definitely, that's one of my goals, is to make something for the pageant.
That's amazing. Are you going to make any of your outfits for Galaxy?
I know that I've designed a couple. I'm not sure if I will be personally making them or if I will have Evelyn step in, because I know making your own outfits is a little bit more difficult to make sure the measurements are proper and pinned and stuff. I'm definitely going to need assistance in that aspect. So that's where hopefully I will have assistance or decide on what I'm doing. I have an adjustable mannequin, so I just crank it and it adjusts to the different forms.
Oh, cool.
So
That's awesome.
That's how I made the Harry Potter one for the event. I had made this really large coat, and it's really pretty. Everyone loved it, but that fabric went with that coat. It was like, as soon as I made that, I made a bunch of masks with the leftovers, and I haven't seen that fabric since.
Oh, wow. Well, that's amazing that, you're using your talent to also give back to the community, and that just seems to be who you are as a person and as a character, so that's amazing. Again, I am really excited to meet you in person. I've watched your journey since you signed up, and I love seeing all the things that you're doing, and I know you when it came to your baked goods and all of that, so I'm just really excited to meet you in person, to see you on stage, and to continue watching your journey. As we start to wrap things up, Sarah, is there anything else that you would like to share with our viewers?
Just stay safe. God bless.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, please, province of Ontario, we are all in lockdown and just trying to bring numbers down. I know in Sudbury, you guys were open for a bit and then went back into lockdown, and it seems to just doesn't want to go away. But please, everyone, like Sarah said, stay safe, stay healthy, and I look forward to meeting all of you at the Canada Galaxy pageants. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank Grayson for sharing his mommy with us, because I know he wanted to make an appearance here and there, so at least he stayed inside.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. And one more time, Sarah, if people wanted to find you on social media and follow your journey or to order a cake, where can they find you?
Facebook, Sarah Edmunds.
Perfect. So I have your Instagram link down below, but I will make sure to add your Facebook page there as well. So all of you, after today's episode, make sure you follow her and check out her journey. Again, Sarah, thank you so much for being here tonight. I had a pleasure talking to you and getting to learn more about you and your passions and giving back to the community. To everyone who watched, thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed our conversation. And as I mentioned, we do go live every Monday and Wednesday. This Monday, I actually have Janice McGregor, who is always here in the chats with me. So make sure you tune in and subscribe to this. Sarah, again, thank you so much for being here. I cannot wait to meet you in August. And everyone, I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.